Up. Hey, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jules. Welcome to our Natural Solutions Workshop here tonight on Mondays. We do this every Monday night at 5:30, and we love to see all your faces here. So thanks for joining us. A couple of things that we want to do as we get started here. The number one thing is that I want you to make sure that you have a pen and a piece of paper or a pencil and a piece of paper so that you can write down questions or thoughts that you have as we go through this, because we don't always do a Q&A at the end of this class after we stop recording. So if you don't get it asked in the chat and answered, then I want you to make sure that you've written it down so that you can go back to whoever invited you and they can answer that question for you or address that comment for you. So make sure first thing that you have that. And then we want to honor your time. We do our best to stay on track. We have a script that we all follow to try and keep us on track. And I will willingly admit I'm one of the worst ones about staying on script. So we try to do that though, so that we can honor your time as well as ours. We try to keep this anywhere between 40 and 60 minutes. So we'll do our best to do that for you. And then I want to encourage you all to stay on until the end, because at the end, we will have a drawing. We have a wheel that we load everyone's names on, and then we spin it and we have a drawing for those who are still here at the end, and someone will win a couple of really great gifts that will help you get the most out of the products, some of the products that we're talking about tonight. So it's a really cool gift, but you got to be on here at the end to get it. So stay on. And then the last thing I want you to do is I want you to familiarize yourself with the chat feature. For some of you, that may be at the bottom of your screen. For some of you, it may be at the top. But please jump into the chat, introduce yourself, let us know who you are, where you're watching from, and who invited you. So for those who don't know me, like I said, my name is Jules. I am coming to you from sunny Discovery Bay, California. And James and I actually just got off the water. We floated for just about an hour before I came up to do this workshop. So I just got off the water, jumped in the shower, and here I am, ready to go. So Ani's in Whittier. Hi, Ani, welcome. Okay, so yeah, jump in the chat. And if your Zoom, hey, Leslie, if your Zoom name is like iPad, whatever, please tell us who you are. That way we can put your name on that wheel too. So that helps us out a lot. All right. Tonight, we're going to, hi, Judy. We're going to talk about ways, what you would like to address for your health. So if you look here on this slide, there are 7 things here, and these are typical things that most people deal with. Either if you're not dealing with them, someone in your family is, or someone that you know deals with them. So I want to invite you to take a look at that. And then drop in the chat, if you would, which 1 or 2 or 3 of those are things that you have challenges with. For me, it's always been number 2. I always have pain and inflammation because I have an autoimmune disease. So I'm always kind of trying to map that out and help myself that way. And then typically it's been sleep, but I've gotten my sleep dialed in, so I'm getting better sleep. So that has really been helpful using these tools that we have tonight that we're going to talk about. So Bobby's a 1. Ani, I missed what you were, but I saw you pop up there. Okay. So the reason I want you to do that too is I want you to know that as we go through here tonight, I think you'll be able to listen to the things that we're talking about, and you'll be able to go, I can use that for me. I can use that for whatever one of these conditions that you might be, or these challenges that you might be dealing with. As we go through here, we're going to look at the modern approach versus the natural approach. Now, the modern approach, let's talk about that first. The modern approach has some really startling facts tied to it, and we have to talk about those. Number 1 that I want to talk about is that the US consumes 75% of the world's prescription drugs. Yet we only make up about 5% of the population. So we're taking a lot of those prescription drugs, and we're only 5% of the world's population. It's crazy to me that that is a fact, a stat that comes from our own government. And then another fact that we need to know about the modern approach is that every 19 minutes, someone here in the United States dies from an accidental overdose of a prescription med. That should be really sobering for all of us to realize. Third one is our FDA estimates that 200,000 Americans are hospitalized every single year because of overdoses and negative side effects to simple things that we don't even think anything about that are over the counter, like Advil, ibuprofen, and even aspirin. 200,000 people. That's crazy to me. And then Tylenol, we all know about Tylenol. Tylenol is what we were urged to, or, given our kids, told to give our babies. And even today, I know when my daughter goes to the doctor, or they say, oh, give him Tylenol, give those babies Tylenol. And what we know about Tylenol is what we know about Tylenol is that it is known to cause liver damage if it's used in excess. So we have to think about all these things. And we have to realize too, that the modern approach, one last fact for you, is that we're looking at 6.5 trillion, that's with a T, dollars spent per year globally on healthcare, on this modern approach. Yet we have to ask ourselves, are we any healthier? I don't think we are. I just don't think we are. So the modern approach, while we need it and we want it, certainly, it doesn't address root causes. It only is addressing symptoms. It's like putting a Band-Aid. Your body is doing this and they throw a Band-Aid on that with that drug or with that prescription, whatever, and they hope that it cuts that symptom, but we don't look at the root cause. So when we look at the natural approach, that's exactly what we do. We look at root causes. Okay, why is the body doing that? Why are those cells replicating that way? Let's figure that out. Let's go to the root cause. And one of the most effective ways to go to the root cause or to treat the root cause is by using natural approach, a plant-based approach. Our body knows what to do with plants. It knows what to do with them. So now that I have given you guys, oh, nope, still me. I was going to hand it over to Ani, but it's still me. So let's look at 3 different things that we know cause disease or disease in the body. And these are the top 3 things that cause disease in the body. Number 1 is nutrient deficiency. Number 2 is inflammation. And number 3 is toxic overload. And here's the thing. These all work synergistically together for the good and for the bad. So let's look at nutrient deficiencies first. Nutrition is a source for disease, and it is at the core of our immune function. When our foundational nutrition buckets are really full and really strong, we function optimally. We have energy, we think more clearly, our mood is better, we get better sleep. All those, we're checking off all those boxes that just we're functioning optimally. We have very little inflammation, but if you look at this chart right here, you can see that the Environmental Working Group did this study. And I'm just going to pull a couple of numbers off of here, but you might want to screenshot this slide. 95% of the US adults are deficient in vitamin D. 94% of us are deficient in vitamin E. And 61% are deficient in magnesium. 61% are deficient in magnesium. So this data shows us that our nutrition buckets aren't full. We aren't functioning optimally, just based on these numbers right here alone. So how do we help this? And what kind of causes are they? Or what kind of symptoms do we see with nutrient deficiencies? We see things like inflammation. We see things like headaches, trouble sleeping, foggy thinking, lack of energy, digestive issues. Do any of those hit home for any of you? Drop a yes or a yes in the chat if they do. Poor nutrition is the #1 cause of poor health, and we can do something about that. So second cause is inflammation. I mentioned that I deal with inflammation all the time. So chronic inflammation is linked to a number of diseases, which are listed on the slide here that we're all looking at. So you might want to screenshot that as well. This is all linked to inflammation. It's known as the silent killer. One of the highest contributors to inflammation in our bodies is sugar. And it's in nearly everything we consume now, particularly processed foods and bottled drinks. Industrial oils like vegetable oil, palm oil, corn oil, soybean oil, sunflower oil, those are big contributors to inflammation as well. And yep, you guessed it. If you start to read package labels, you'll see that processed foods, the boxed foods, and the things that we're fast and easy things that we're eating is loaded with sugar and those bad oils. And then toxins in our environment and stress and lack of sleep. All of that can trigger this inflammatory process in our bodies. The third thing that we need to look at is toxic load. And this refers to all the chemicals that are in our body and they build up from these exposures in our environment. So from processed foods, from pesticide use, from personal care products, things that we bring into our homes, our laundry detergents, things like that, things that we plug into our walls, those all contribute to this toxic load, which then can lead to inflammation and can lead to disease in the body. The Product Safety Commission, the US Product Safety Commission, actually tested and found 150 cleaning chemicals that are linked to ADD, asthma, cancer, respiratory disease, reproductive problems, and more. So this is, again, all things that we're surrounded with. So there are things we can do about that. We cannot bring those into our homes. We can limit what we bring in. So now that I've given you guys all the bad news, I'm going to turn it over to Ani, and Ani's going to start showing you some basic ways that you can start to turn things around to build that foundational health. So Ani, it's all yours.
Thank you, Jules. My name is Ani, and I'm here in sunny California as well, Whittier, California. And I was introduced to the oils about 2015, and I was that girl who knew nothing about oils. And I was the Tylenol, I was the Motrin girl. You know, I had headaches and backaches, and I would just reach out for that stuff. What I love about doTERRA is, because I didn't have really any background in this stuff, it's just taught me so much to do the natural approach. And now that I have 2 adult kids, you know, and I love it. They still sometimes use things, you know, because it's mom is not right sometimes, but I love it when they just reach out to me and say, like last night, hey mom, my throat's, I got a tickle. Where's the On Guard soft gel? We really go to the natural stuff first. And then if something is necessary, then, you know, they might take that. But I'm so religious about all of this and I love it. So now let's take a look at our first health solution. But before we do that, let's go ahead and take a look at the chat feature. Who here uses a supplement? Maybe you take a vitamin C or a D, a B. Maybe you take a multivitamin or an omega. Just let us know. Put it in the chat. Okay. LLV. Okay. All right, now let's take a quick peek at the supplement industry. A study found by the FDA from 2007 to 2016 detected contaminants in 776 dietary supplements produced by 146 companies. Another study of 3 leading memory supplements found that 2 of them didn't even contain the active ingredient listed on the label. The supplement industry is not heavily regulated, so products can contain lots of fillers, lots of contaminants, and not much ingredients listed. If you have some reservations or whether a product would work for you or not, this information should support your concerns. So the supplement industry is not heavily regulated, as we mentioned. Here's a story from a fellow wellness advocate whose son works in a health store. He told his mother that when a supplement on the shelf is tested and found to be missing an active ingredient listed on the label, the store has up to 9 months, guys, to remove that product from its shelf. That is very concerning. Because our standard American diet is deficient in most vitamins, and nutrients. We need to supplement to get our body what it needs to function properly. So let's make sure we are using safe and effective supplements. And let's take a look at our first health solution. Okay, doTERRA is known for its safe and effective oils, but some of you might not have known that Lifelong Vitality supplements are doTERRA's best-selling product because they effectively address all three diseases areas we just mentioned: nutrient deficiency, inflammation, and toxic overload. Think of this as our necessary foundation for our health house. This line will help support the cleansing, the filtering out of toxins. There are 3 supplements in this line: food nutrient, cellular repair, and our omegas. This is our micronutrient line. So Lifelong Vitality fills the nutrient buckets in our body, contains powerful antioxidants to help protect our DNA. It's made with whole food ingredients, and it is 95% bioavailable for our body. The average supplement is about 20 to 30% bioavailable. So this product has gotten more people off their over-the-counter medication or prescription drugs more than any other doTERRA product doTERRA sells. I'd like to invite Mick, who has a testimonial, and if you could share the testimonial with our group, please.
Hi, Mick here.
Thank you.
So my story is kind of a long one, so I'm going to condense as much as I can. In about 2016, I had an attack, a neurological type thing. And I initially was told that possibly it was multiple sclerosis. But it took over 6 months for them to get anything. And it wound up being that I have lesions in my spinal cord, in my cervical spine. They gave me some medications and said this will help because I had severe tremors at night. I had extreme weaknesses in my legs and my arms. I walked with a cane. I played guitar all my life and I couldn't play guitar. I had to walk with this cane. And they gave me these medications that said, oh, these will help you. What I found was the side effects were so severe, I never learned whether the medications were going to work or not because I had to stop taking them due to the side effects. And in time, Teresa got involved with doTERRA, and she introduced me to Lifelong Vitality, and I started taking Lifelong Vitality. And, you know, just as we'll see if this helps me feel better. And so I started taking it, and it didn't really seem like much happened. But then in a few months, I started to notice that I had more strength. I had less tremors. I also had severe neuropathy that started to fade some. And truth be that I was also adding certain doTERRA oils to taking the Lifelong Vitality. So today, as it stands, I'm currently working on a new recording project in my home studio because I can play guitar again. I no longer walk with a cane. Can't run, but no longer walk with a cane. My neuropathy, I would say, is probably down 75%. And you know, I do woodworking and can safely run my equipment, all these things. And it's all based on using Lifelong Vitality as a foundation for the other doTERRA supplements I take. And I feel it's just my personal opinion that it supercharges these other supplements and oils by having that foundation of Lifelong Vitality there. And, you know, I kind of forgot where I was. But anyway, Well, I am very grateful that I've discovered this. And the one thing I can tell people that it was mentioned before, but I'll say it again, is I feel fine, I feel great. And if there's a day where I go, oh, well, I'm just gonna skip this stuff today and I'm not gonna take these things. That's when I don't take it is when I notice that, how much it works. And yeah, as I said, I'm totally grateful and thank you.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate, we love the testimonials. That is an awesome testimonial. So we're glad you're feeling better. And if anyone else has any testimonials, they can always let us know. We can share different ones as well later on at the end of the call. So let's take a
Anya, you're muted.
Sorry, I muted myself, but okay. All right. So thank you again. I appreciate your testimonial. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next slide, please. Not sure who's doing the slides, but okay.
Isn't this the one that we're on?
No, we're going to go to the next one, please, if you can. A 60-day clinical trial. Okay. So
Sorry.
so take a look at this slide. You're going to see some interesting statistics here. And the clinical trials results are based on blood work taken before and after subjects took doTERRA's lifelong vitality supplements for 2 months. So it definitely to some takes some time while continuing their normal diet and exercise habits. The difference that can be experienced when you begin taking bioavailable nutrient-dense supplements like LLV, lifelong vitality. I consider LLV part of my food budget, and we urge you to do the same, especially with the testimonials that we just heard. It's less than a cup of coffee at your favorite coffee store. If you purchase it through our customer rewards program, the LRP program, you would also get points on your food for your future products for free. And you can purchase them for free. Let's move on to focus on gut health specifically. Lifelong Vitality, when you pair it with the PB Restore and Terrazyme, it is our highest recommendation. The gut plays a vital role in our overall health and well-being. Often called our second brain, the gut is vital in everything from our weight to our immune function and to our mental wellness. So doTERRA's PB Restore Probiome Complex is our patented dual capsule delivery system. It is a unique formulation of 30 pre, pro, and postbiotics that help restore microbial diversity and balance for optimal microbiome health. With this unique dual encapsulation delivery system, it protects the sensitive probiotic cultures from our stomach acid, delivering it safely and effectively to your gut. So the 18 billion colony-forming units, CFUs, of probiotic or good bacteria consists of 24 active cultures. Variety of careful selected strains from 22 different species for exceptional microbial diversity. It maintains healthy intestinal microflora balance. It supports our healthy digestive and immune system to function as well as our GI tract health, especially intestines and colon. It supports our optimal metabolism and food absorption. In simple terms, when you have a healthy microbiome with good bacteria, the bad bacteria has a harder time doing its dirty work. So Terrazyme is doTERRA's digestive enzyme. It includes a variety of whole food enzymes that help with digestion. It can be taken with every meal. And it also supports healthy digestion and metabolism and the conversion of food nutrients to cellular energy. It promotes gastrointestinal comfort and food tolerance, and also 10 active food enzymes. So I love Terrazyme. I take it daily. I take it, you can take it with your meals, or you can take it first thing in the morning and the last thing before bed. It does wonders for our body. Next, I'm going to invite my friend Traci to move into the next topic. Traci?
Thanks, Ani.
Thank you.
I'm Traci, and I'm in northeastern Nevada. It's not as hot, but it's like 95, and that's hot for us. So trying to stay cool today. All right, so time for a little interaction. We're heading into the second section of our workshop, and I want to make sure that you're with me. So go back to the chat feature. And what percentage has diabetes cases increased in America since 1960? %200. Okay, it's a whopping 700%. Yeah, that just blows my mind. How long does it take the average American to consume the same amount of sugar that our ancestors from 200 years ago would consume in a year? 10 days. Close. It's 2 weeks. That also blows my mind. That's kind of sad if you think about it. All right, so the next part. Only 6.8% of our population have optimal cardiometabolic health. That means that 93% of Americans do not have optimal cardiometabolic health. We've already discussed the challenges that we face when we're not functioning optimally. So let's dive into some solutions. The MetaPWR system was specifically designed to tackle poor cardiometabolic health. This is your macronutrient line. It pairs beautifully with Lifelong Vitality, our micronutrient line. The MetaPWR line does 3 things. It addresses our cellular repair that leads to aging. It addresses blood sugar regulation, and it supports the inhibiting of fast absorption into your cells. So let's talk about your lifespan and your health span. While we can't do anything about our chronological age, which is our lifespan, we can do something about our metabolic age, which is our health span. Did you know that the average American spends the last 14 years of their life in a state of declining health with difficulty completing everyday tasks? What if we could empower to change that? What if we can write a different story for ourselves? The MetaPWR system is the first and only system that synergistically supports a healthy metabolism. It curbs your cravings. It sustains normal range glycemic and insulin response evenly throughout your day, and it naturally promotes cellular energy. Those using this line have reported improvements in their eyesight, energy, pain, neuropathy, their sleep, skin and hair growth, mood, mobility, and strength. Now, let's take a look at our pictures. And you see the young lady on the top. She's been using MetaPWR for 4 months. She's had amazing results, especially with improvements on her face, her eyes, and her hair. Now, go to the gentleman on the bottom left. He has improved skin elasticity, darker hair growth. He got his blood work taken after 3 weeks on MetaPWR, and it showed that he had a 40% decrease in cholesterol, 25-point decrease in his LDL, and a 57-point decrease in his triglycerides. Now, on the right side, you see a 58-year-old woman who has red spots on her arms. Anytime she bumped herself, they appeared. Doctors biopsied and said that it's just what happens when you get older. After using MetaPWR for only 3 months, the spots were totally gone. And she also had other changes too, like a 60-pound weight loss, thicker hair, her nails started growing, and she also had a lower A1C. Now, this is one of my favorites of the MetaPWR products. It's the MetaPWR Advantage. This is doTERRA's collagen. It's unlike any other on the market, and it includes 9 types of collagen, over 70% tripeptides, so your body absorbs it 12 times more than any other collagen. A peptide is simply a large protein chain. It's too large for your body to break down and use for its full benefit. When it's broken down into tripeptides, simply smaller protein chains, the body can absorb and utilize them in their entirety. Advantage comes in small packets with freeze-dried collagen and other nutrients to mix in 4 to 6 ounces of cold water. It also promotes healthy biological aging and improves health span by helping aging cells. It activates longevity genes. It improves cognitive function. It supports lean muscle and connective tissue. It improves skin density, elasticity, and firmness. If you love science and knowing how and why these products work, ask your wellness advocate to send our deep dive recordings for lifelong vitality and MetaPWR. And now I'm going to turn it over to Teresa so she can share her story with Advantage.
Hi, I'm Teresa, and I've been using the MetaPWR system since they released it, which I think was 2 years ago at convention. So 2 years. I'm saying, I hate that. Okay, so anyway, what I do is, so the collagen packet, I take this glass of water and this collagen packet, and I basically just cut the packet open and then dump it into my glass of water, and then I shake it all up. I also put this MetaPWR oil, the blend, in the water with the collagen, and I also use some other oils daily too. So everything just goes into that this little jar of water each morning, and I just shake it all up and then I down it. And that way I know I've gotten my first dosage of the vitamins and things I'm going to need to get the energy to work throughout the day. And then I don't have to worry about it while I'm there working. So what it's done is it gives me the energy to be able to work, because I'm a massage therapist, and so I'm going like this all the time. I deep tissue massage actually, so I'm not doing that light fluff and buff stuff. I'm going really deep into people's bodies, and it's very straining on my muscles and my tissues and my hands. And so what I've found that happens is it's helped my connective tissue, and that's so important to me, because if I get injured, I'm going to be out. And I also battle with a autoimmune disorder too, so I have to work really hard to keep my inflammation down and keep my energy up, because anytime I can go into a flare-up and then I'll be done. And one of the benefits too from taking that collagen packet is I had really short stunted hair in my 40s, because I had to take, for about a decade, I had to take antibiotics because of my dental work. And the antibiotics just killed everything. It's just really stunted my hair. It wouldn't grow. It was this ugly color. It was super brittle. And so look at my hair now. I'm 63 years old, and I feel like I'm getting my hair back that I had in high school when I had really long hair. And I never in my life thought that I'd have this long a hair again. And here I am in my 60s. And I contribute most of that to the lifelong vitality and these collagen packets. And then I also use the MetaPWR Assist because I'm a little bit hypoglycemic, and I make sure that I take the assist with my heaviest meal, and my sugars aren't dipping as much, so that I don't crash after eating, or I just feel more even keel, I guess is a good way to put it. And I don't go to the doctor very often, but I did go through a basic physical a couple of years ago, and all my numbers are within range, except a little bit of high blood pressure and cholesterol, but we're working on that. And also I want to give a shout out for the Terrazyme and the Restore. Before the Restore was PB Assist, and I used both of those for the same amount of years too. And when I had my last colonoscopy, I had no polyps and my IBD was healed. And I just contribute all of this to using all the doTERRA products. And in addition to the supplements, we do use drops of oils each day: frankincense, on guard, DDR prime, and lemon. So anyway, I'm grateful. I think it's way better to just use some supplements and stay out of the hospital. Last summer, I had 2 clients go into the hospital with dehydration, and then that created heart and kidney problems for them too. So as long as we can just, it's easy to just take some tablets instead of battling all the time. Anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you, Teresa. That's awesome. Okay, so now we're changing direction and heading down the road to oils. doTERRA is mostly known for their essential oils, so we need to look at why they lead the world in this area. And I believe, Jules, am I handing it back to you? I don't see Lori on here.
Okay, yeah, I thought she was doing it, but maybe something came up. So yeah, I'm good. We can go. All right, so thanks, Tracy. Thanks for doing that for us. And Teresa, thanks for sharing your testimonial. Okay, so most people know doTERRA because of their essential oils, but some of the things that they don't know is just how pure doTERRA oils are. So we're going to talk right now about a study that was done at Roseman University. And what they did was, this was an independent study, and what they did was they studied a bunch of different oils from the marketplace. And what they found was that doTERRA stood out. And they stood out because they showed that doTERRA oils were therapeutically relevant in cell growth and rejuvenation. So they had way more impact on the cell itself. They were beneficial in supporting overall metabolic health. They also showed that it provided positive effects for a healthy inflammatory response. And those of us who deal with too much inflammation can speak to that about these oils. And what they found when they did this study was that doTERRA stood out in such a way that essential oils from other competitors had minimal to no effects. So the study actually concluded that doTERRA's, the therapeutic, key word there, therapeutic potential of essential oils is really dependent on the complete composition of the oil. So where it was sourced, how it was processed, the characterization of all of those are critical. And doTERRA stands out. They are heads above everyone else. And that is just because of the purity. And that is what doTERRA is all about. It's about the purity of the essential oils, because we know if they're pure, they actually can do what we expect them to do and what studies show us that they can do. So let's talk about what the difference is with doTERRA. When an oil is really pure, it doesn't have any fillers or any additives to it. There's no synthetic ingredients and there's no dilution. And independent lab tests have actually shown that the majority of brands available to the consumer aren't pure. We can actually post a link to that study or share a link to that study if you want to see it at the end of the workshop. Just reach out to whoever invited you and they can get you that study. doTERRA actually sources all of our oils from plants grown in their ideal environments. So they're not planting them somewhere else and just hoping that they grow. They're taking them to where they know that those plants are going to thrive. And makes the difference. Where they're grown really makes a difference in the chemical profile and that therapeutic benefit. So every batch of oil of doTERRA is also tested to make sure that it has the ideal chemistry, that it has the ideal consistency, and so that we know that they're going to do what they say they're going to do. There are 54 tests done on every single batch of doTERRA essential oil. From the farmer to the consumer, we know that it's pure. They can be used topically, they can be used aromatically, and a lot of doTERRA essential oils can also be used internally. People like us and others, there are over 12 million of us actually, use doTERRA oils because we know that they're safe, they're affordable, and they're effective. And they're great solutions for our health and our family's health. So let's look at what that actually means. A lot of us, excuse me, are looking for those safe and effective solutions, and we don't want the dangerous side effects. We don't want the risk of addiction that a lot of the over-the-counter and prescription drugs bring for us. So that's why we turn to some oils. Oils have been used forever. And we just mentioned the independent lab tests that have been done that show that most oils on the marketplace have contaminants and synthetic markers. So in other words, synthetic markers means that they smell like the oil, but they aren't really the oil. They're chemically created in a lab. And doTERRAs can actually be ingested, some of them. And if you look at the back of the bottle, it will say supplemental facts on it. And that's how you know you can ingest it. If it's, for instance, a lavender oil from another company and it doesn't say that it's safe to be ingested, then you know that's not a pure lavender oil, because there's no reason you can't ingest lavender. There's no reason you can't ingest lemon or lime. If they are a pure oil, they're food grade. You can actually ingest them. So that is another reason doTERRA stands out and is vastly different than those other oils. What doTERRA did too is that they recognized when the founders started the company, they recognized that the oil industry didn't have a standard for purity and something that ensured the safety. So they created a new standard and they called it CPTG, and that stands for Certified Pure Tested Grade. That standard is beyond organic, and it includes significant testing that doesn't come cheap. doTERRA invests the money and invest the time to ensure that we have the most effective, the safest products, and what's going to work best for us. Many of those doTERRA oils, like I said, are safe to ingest. So you look for that food grade label or that supplemental facts on the bottle. So let's look over here to the right side of your screen on this slide, and you see these adorable little girls, but you can see that they have some really nasty burns on their chest. So here's the story that goes with that. These two little girls were staying with their grandmother, and their mom had always put doTERRA lavender essential oil on them before they went to bed at night. And the grandmother did not have doTERRA lavender essential oil. She had another brand that she picked up, but she thought, it's lavender, I should be able to use that. Lavender's a calming oil. Let's just use that. She put that lavender oil from another brand on those little girls, and it actually caused burns. And you can see that. The girls ended up with those chemical burns, and those scars lasted almost a year. Now, here's the thing. We're not saying that every oil is going to be like that from another brand. That's not at all what we're saying. But what we are saying is it's important that you understand the difference. And if you're using a doTERRA essential oil that you bought straight from doTERRA, you know that it's a pure oil and you don't have to worry about something like that. like lavender causing burns like that. They're safe to use at any age, from newborn babies to our great-grandmothers, grandmothers, and it's everything about safety, purity and safety. A lot of times we hear that doTERRA oils are expensive, but let's look at the affordability and effectiveness of them. And believe it or not, affordability is one of the reasons that most of us turn to doTERRA. And that's because our oils are 50 to 70 times more potent than an herb, essential oils that are pure, more potent than an herb. And it also means that a little bit goes a really long way. So it's, price per drop makes it really, really affordable. So let's illustrate in the chat feature. Let's go there, and I want you guys all to make a guess. There was a recent study or a recent test done of a Costco peppermint oil, and it showed that it wasn't 100% peppermint oil. How much of that Costco peppermint oil that was marketed as peppermint oil, how much of it do you think was actually peppermint oil in the bottle? Just take a guess in the chat. Bonnie says 3%, Tracy, 8, 10 drops. Yeah, well, there's 250 drops to a bottle, a 15 ml bottle. And what they found in that Costco peppermint oil was it was only 10% of that bottle was actually peppermint oil. So it matters where you purchase it. Testing matters, purity matters. So just keep that in mind. When you use doTERRA's CPTG essential oil, you're getting the real deal. It's 100% essential oil. And that in itself makes it much cheaper than those other options that might be diluted or adulterated. And it makes it much safer. So on the average, I told you that a bottle, a 15 ml bottle contains about 250 drops of oil. If you look at that, the average price comes out to $1 or less per time you use it. And that's crazy. And here's an essential oil tip for you, for those of you who are new to oils. Just remember that it's always better when you're using doTERRA's pure essential oils, it's always better to use less more often than it is to use more and not to use it again. Okay, now I want to call your attention to the right side of the screen. And this is a microbiology lesson simplified, really, really simplified. So for our scientists in this workshop, please don't roll your eyes at us, but this is just a really simple way to show everybody the effectiveness of a doTERRA essential oil. So if you look over on that right side of the screen, you see a cell. And if we picture that cell as my fist, then we know that that cell has an oily membrane around it. And when you have a bacterial infection, that's that green blob that you see there on the screen. That bacteria grows on the outside of the cell. So, excuse me, the oil can actually kill it on the outside of that cell, but a virus grows on the inside of the cell. And most pharmaceuticals, most prescription meds can't do anything about that virus on the inside of the cell. That's why when you go and you get diagnosed that you have something that is viral, they don't give you an antibiotic for it because there's really nothing they can do. They can't penetrate that oily membrane. But doTERRA essential oils can penetrate that oily membrane and they can get inside that cell and they can help to destroy that virus and keep it from replicating inside that cell. So again, very simple little microbiology lesson, but it gives you an idea of why they're so effective, even against viruses. So when you have essential oils like this on hand, you have the tools to support your body immediately instead of rushing to see the doctor or waiting to see the doctor or sitting in an emergency room or sitting in an urgent care. You have something that you can use at home and you don't have a copay. You don't have any of that. You can turn to that. And I'm not saying don't go to the doctor, but when you have this kind of stuff at home, you have something to turn to that's really safe and really effective, and it's affordable. All right, so let's look at these. These are just a few of the oils that are known for their immune support. There's a lot of them. There are a lot of oils, but these are some of the top ones. And I have this little keychain right here that has a bunch of oils in it, and some of them are the immune supporting oils. And I'm going to just go through these ones that are on the screen right now really quickly. But we have oregano there, we have tea tree there, we have On Guard there, and we have frankincense. I want to talk about oregano today because I think oregano is amazing. Oregano is a powerhouse, an absolute powerhouse antibacterial oil. It's great for skin tags and warts. It's great for that gunk that you get on your toes sometimes. Your toenails get really thick. It's really a great oil to help eradicate that and just get rid of it. It is a hot oil, so you want to be really careful with it. It's best to use it diluted. And it's also really great for things like canker sores. Again, it's a hot oil, but oregano is an oil that you want to have on hand. Oregano is an oil that we don't travel without because it's also really good if you're traveling and you happen to get what's known kind of as the dreaded turista. Like if you go to Mexico and you get that stomach thing that things are coming and going just as fast as you put them in, oregano can actually go in there and eradicate that in your gut, in your intestine, and help you feel better way, way, way fast. And we've actually tested that and found out that it works. So we don't go anywhere without oregano oil. All right, now the next slide we're looking at is the medicine cabinet basics. And those of us who use oils have all of these in our medicine cabinet because they've replaced a lot of the things that we were using when we started using About Natural Solutions. We were able to get rid of them. So I want you to imagine a medicine cabinet filled with safe and effective oils. These oils don't have additives, they don't have fillers, they don't have any negative side effects. They just help you be ready at a moment's notice for life's little emergencies. And let's look at these. And again, I have my keychain here with all of these in here. So let's look at and talk about Digestin because it's one that we use all the time. And I have my little bottle of Digestin right here. Those of us who have these keychains, keep them with us all the time because you never know when you're going to need them. So we're going to talk about Digestin here. And this is one that you might not use every single day, but I almost use it every single day, almost every single day. And this is one that I like to use if my stomach gets upset, if I've eaten too much or something just didn't sit well. I will literally just open this up and I'll just go like that and drop some underneath my tongue. And within minutes, my stomach's feeling better. I can also take it, put some drops in my fingertips, rub that on my belly, put it in my belly button, and it will help to calm my stomach. This is a go-to. Another one we don't leave home without. I always have it in the keychain. I always have it in, I have another little pack that I always keep it in, and we always have it on hand because it is a go-to oil. It's also great if you have anything sinus and you're really stuffed up, you can take Digestin and just simply rub it along your sinuses and it will help to open up your sinuses. It's an incredible oil and it's a combination of oils. So it's patented. You could mix and match and try and make it on your own, but it's best just to buy the blend because it is a don't leave home without it kind of oil. Hence why it's in my keychain. All right, next part of what we'll talk about here is inflammation. I already mentioned that I have kind of too much inflammation in my body because of an autoimmune challenge that I have. I also have been a massage therapist for well over 30 years at this point. And I will tell you that I don't think there is anything better for pain and inflammation in your body than Deep Blue. This is an amazing line to help with any kind of discomfort related to pain and inflammation. So we have Deep Blue polyphenols. You can see those on the lower left side of your screen. That's everything about helping to soothe back, muscle, joint pain, arthritis, rheumatism, bruises, swelling, gout, all those kind of things. And if you're a weekend warrior or an athlete yourself, Deep Blue polyphenols are a great way to support your body so that you don't get quite as sore when you're out doing those kind of activities. And then we also have Deep Blue Rub and Deep Blue Essential Oil and the Deep Blue with Copaiba Stick. Those are all to be used topically, and they are amazing. They're absolutely amazing. It relieves nerve pain and tension, muscle and joint. I already mentioned that. It can actually help with bone healing as well, alleviates back pain, When you have a nasty bruise forming, I whacked my leg here about a week or two ago. I guess it's been about a month ago now. I whacked it and I immediately rolled deep blue on there, put some deep blue on there and helichrysum as well. But it will help to ease that bruising, help to ease the inflammation. It is awesome. It'll stop it in its tracks. And then the deep blue with copaiba stick. And then there's copaiba oil sitting right next to it in this picture. And I want you to know that copaiba is what is known as a driver oil. So anything it's paired with, it's going to enhance the properties of that. So when we have deep blue in that stick with copaiba, it is taking pain relief, if you will, next level. So that's that. And then the last one that you see there on your screen is the copaiba soft gels, and those are great as well. All right, next slide, mood and emotional support. We're going to wrap up this oil section with this mood and emotional support. And we told you at the beginning that, or those of you at the beginning who indicated that you had people who kind of dealt with heightened emotions and mood and kind of mood swings, that kind of thing. These are 3 oils right here. Again, there are more oils, but these are probably the top 3 that you can look at to find some real support. I'm going to talk about Serenity because I love Serenity oil. I use this in my diffusers every single night. I know Ani uses it as her pure fume, if you will, every single day. But it is an oil that just helps you sleep. It helps ease tension in your body as well. It's an oil that you can just smell, and we know that inside of our brain, it triggers our brain to go, I'm okay. These are all great oils though, balanced, adaptive. If you have any kind of emotional stuff, these are great oils to have on hand. We've learned a lot of things about our oils and about our products tonight, but just know this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's a ton of things that you can do, and we invite you to stick with us and continue to learn. I have to tell you, I never really imagined having a doTERRA business. I was a massage therapist. I had a very successful practice. And what happened for me is that I was introduced to a little bottle of deep blue that literally changed the trajectory, not only of my practice, but of my life, because I found out how different they were and the oils were by using that bottle of deep blue. And then when my body started to break down after 30 years of using it and doing the physical work that I was doing, doTERRA offered me another avenue of income. And I have to tell you, it's been really wonderful because I did massage, and that was my passion for all of those years, and I still love it. But when I had to give that up, I thought, how am I going to continue to help people? Because I know that I'm driven to help people feel better in their bodies. And I thought, how am I going to do that? And doTERRA offered me the avenue to do that. The other thing it did for me too is that it continued to give me the time flexibility, and it also allowed me to connect with all these faces that you see on your screen right now. I would never have met these ladies and gentlemen if it weren't for doTERRA. And it's been a great way to have community and be around a bunch of like-minded people whose passion is to help other people. There's nothing better. There's just nothing better. So it's really kind of changed my life. And if anything that we talked about here tonight has sparked something in you, and if you're looking maybe for an additional income stream, again, that's what I was doing when I realized I had to close my practice. I thought, too young to retire, and I want an additional income stream. If any of that resonates with you, reach out to who invited you here tonight and get your questions answered. We also have other workshops that can show you the financial piece of this. And we have ways that we call it onboarding, bring you on, help show you how you can build your business. You don't do this by yourself. This is a group effort and a team effort. So get your questions answered. And like I said, if it sparked anything at all, get some answers. You'll be glad you did. All right, now you saw me hold up this keychain, and I'll tell you really quickly how you can get one of these if you want one of these for free. You can simply invite 5 different people to this workshop. If you get 5 people to a Monday night workshop, whoever your advocate or whoever invited you here will give you this keychain with 5 oils in it. And then if those 5 people all show up, they'll add another oil for every person that shows up. So that's one way to do it. Another way is to host your own class or your own workshop via Zoom or via in your home, but invite some people over, get them together and just have a spa night. And you can, you know, explore the doTERRA spa line, and you get this keychain for actually hosting that party. And then each person that shows up, you get an additional oil. So it's really simple. You'll love it. You'll use it all the time. All right. Now it's survey time. So what I want you to do is I want you to take your phone and take a picture of this QR code. There's also going to be a link that gets dropped into the chat. Julie just dropped it there right now. Please jump into that. If you're new here tonight, please jump into that and take that survey. It's really brief, but what it does is it allows us to see why, whoever invited you, to see why you were here, why you were interested, what you're dealing with, things that you might want solutions for. It just is a great way for us to be able to help you even better. And that's what it's about. So please jump in and take that survey. Once you've done it, please just jump into the chat and say done or whatever so that we know. And in the meantime, we've got Bobby who is loading up our wheel, and we'll do the drawing here shortly as soon as we see a couple dones pop into the chat.
I'm here, ready and waiting.
Okay, all right. Why don't you go ahead, Bobby, if you've got the names in there, why don't you go ahead and spin the wheel for us?
Okay, let me get my mouse over there. It is going. You can probably hear it. And the winner is, wouldn't you know? I don't know if they're still here. Galaxy Tab 2. Are they here? Because we don't know who it is.
I know. I asked her their name, but I don't know if they saw it in the chat. So if they don't pop in the chat and say that they're here, just spin it again, Bobby.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, take them off and spin it again because you got to be here to win.
And the winner is, oh, she there?
Yeah, Betty Rodriguez.
Okay,
Betty.
all right.
Okay,
Yeah.
good deal, Betty.
I
You
don't
are
know
the
how
winner.
to tab that good, and I changed my name on the Galaxy A, but it went back to Galaxy A.
Okay, gotcha. So the person that invited you will get the ebooks to you, and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Congratulations, Betty. And thanks for joining. Okay, so this last hour, we covered a lot of ground. Hopefully we've answered some questions for you. We've given you some more information. If you filled out that survey, whoever invited you will get that survey. They'll contact you within the next 48 hours, and they'll be able to answer your questions and do all the things that they need to do to help get you the information that you need. And again, I already said it, but I want to remind you that you're not alone on this journey. We're here. All of us are here to support you, to help you, to answer your questions. And our ultimate goal is to help you help yourself using natural solutions, because it's amazing how you can help your family and yourself feel better when you have the right tools. Okay, so we have another QR code on the screen. And what I want you to do, you can take a picture of that as well. And what that is going to do is going to take you to everything that we do here in this Zoom room. We're always here on Monday nights at 5:30. Always, always, always. We're always here on Tuesday nights at 5:30. That's 5:30 Pacific time. So follow it out for your time zone. But we're here Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 5:30. Mondays and Tuesdays workshops are always recorded, so you can always get a recording as well. And then Wednesday nights are just an open table conversation where you can just jump in there. It's like you're sitting at your friend's kitchen table and you can get your questions answered and just have a conversation. It is not recorded, so you don't have to worry about that. And it's just a great place to have a conversation around everything. So continuing education, our Tuesday night workshops, there's 8 of those. Tomorrow night, I'll be teaching with Sarah, or leading that workshop with Sarah. And it is all about MetaPWR and our metabolism and how we make our metabolism work better for us. So we'd love to see you there. let's see, what else? What did I forget? Oh, if you want to text to, let's see, do we have the telephone number up there? We do not. We do not. We do not. We'll join us tomorrow night and we'll throw in the number that you can text.
Jules, I have the number if you guys want it.
Yes,
So,
yes. Haley, if you would. Haley's going to share that number for you. And the thing is, if you guys have joined us tonight, you're going to text the word class and you're going to text Monday Night Workshop to this number that Haley's going to share with you. And that will, with your name, of course, and that will be logged in our back office. And when you've completed 8 classes, Monday classes or Tuesday classes, when you've completed 8 of them, then you get a free book that is loaded with recipes and all kinds of things that are tried and true, that those of us who have been involved with doTERRA for a while, there are personal recipes. So Haley's thrown that in there. It's 534-429-5392. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining us. And yeah, we're a little bit over an hour, so sorry about that. But thanks for joining us, and we will catch you tomorrow night. We'll see you there.